Good evening, I'm Ian Hanomansing. Tonight, a Canadian Olympian describes an overburdened COVID ward from his own hospital bed.
You can see how much other people are suffering.
And a surgeon's warning that life-saving operations are at risk. Also tonight, new COVID concerns for pregnant women.
I feel like there's no plan and there's no discussion.
Halifax locks down, Haligonians speak out.
I'm a little bit angry because a few people make some bad choices and all of us have to pay.
In reaction to the government's new international travel restrictions.
It's really full, and I think everyone is just like rushing to enter Canada as soon as possible. We
ask Bill Blair why he thinks they work. This is The National. New modeling from Ottawa suggests when it comes to COVID, we are on the right track. It projects current restrictions should work against the virus, including the variants, but cases need to keep dropping and vaccinations need to keep increasing. The message from Ottawa, it's time for one more push.
We just need to hang in a little while longer. We need to protect our loved ones and essential workers.
Many are at high risk tonight. More than 1,300 people across Canada are in ICUs, a surge far surpassing the first and second waves. Admission to the ICUs are rising across central and western Canada. In BC, Saskatchewan and Ontario, they have broken records. Katie Nicholson shows us the scramble to relieve that stress on hospitals and the consequence if it fails.
Legs pumping for gold medal winning propulsion. In 2018, Olympian Alex Kopacz was in peak physical condition. Today, the bobsled champion struggles to breathe in a London, Ontario COVID ward.
Now that I'm hooked up to oxygen, I have hope again. I can feel like I might be able to beat this.
Kopacz was readmitted here just days after being released, and he's seen firsthand how stretched Ontario's healthcare system is.
I see a lot of really good nursing staff and doctors that are still in excellent spirits. Even if they're faking it, they can see how much other people are suffering. I can see that there's a challenge between juggling resource availability and what can be offered right this second.
That challenge increasingly affecting non-COVID patients.
We have shifted into what we're calling a crisis standard of care. That means that the normal standard of care that Ontarians deserve and expect is no longer an option.
Toronto surgeon Dr. Shadi Ashamala would normally be operating on cancer patients right now. Because of the pressures of COVID on the system, he's had to tell them he can't book their surgeries.
Everybody needs to know that there are patients out there who should be having their cancers removed that are sitting with their cancers in their body, waiting patiently to have them taken out. We need to know the gravity of what's happening.
In Alberta, in the midst of its own ascending third wave, this admission of defeat from the Minister of Health.
It was a race between the vaccines and the variants. The variants have won.
BC officials hope new restrictions on travel within the province will keep the virus contained and people out of hospital. From a once robust athlete now in the fight of his life, a warning.
It's an invisible assailant just beating the crap out of you. No matter where you put your hands up, you can't block it.
So, Katie, we just heard Dr. Ashamala describe a crisis in the standard of care. Explain for us what that means for patients.
Well, what that means is if, say, a woman in Toronto finds a lump in her breast, usually there's a preferred time period. Doctors want to get that person in the OR. Dr. Ashamala works in colorectal cancers. There's a 28-day window after the patient has consented to surgery that you want to get someone in the OR. That's just not happening right now. And during that period, of course, these masses, these tumors, they can grow, and that worsens the prognosis for the patient. And that's really the concern here, Ian.
Okay, Katie, thank you. Today, Ontario became the fourth province to announce that it's giving priority to pregnant women for COVID vaccines. The recommendation is coming from doctors based on emerging data. Vicadopia explains why.
Conspicuously absent from vaccine lineups in BC, those who are pregnant. It's an anxious time to be expecting. Sherry Arsenault doesn't know when she'll get her shot.
I feel really neglected. I feel like there's no plan and there's no discussion. It looks like the BC government has completely dropped the ball on pregnant women.
Despite calls from Canada's OBGYNs to vaccinate pregnant people as soon as possible, not all provinces are. Ontario is the latest. Those in other provinces will have to wait unless they have other conditions that put them at risk. But pregnancy in this pandemic is risky. According to a newly published study of 2,000 people around the globe in late pregnancy, those who got sick with COVID-19 were at a significantly higher risk of complications, including eclampsia, preterm birth, bacterial infections, even maternal death. And 1 in 8 COVID mothers gave birth to a baby that also tested positive.
So I think if there was ever a study supporting potential vaccination in pregnancy, this is it.
The risks, experts believe, are due in part to changes to lung capacity and immune systems during pregnancy. Still, there is some reluctance to put pregnant people at the front of the vaccine line. It may be due in part to the limited amount of research on safety and efficacy, but there is new evidence emerging.
The bottom line is we now have lots of real-world data showing that these are likely to be very, very safe, especially for pregnant individuals in the 2nd and 3rd trimester.
Convincing enough for Alexandra Taylor in PEI, where she can't get a shot.
Any potential effects from the vaccine, I'll take that over getting COVID and ending myself up in the ICU and even potentially dying.
Waiting for a shot that may not just save 1 life, but 2. Vicadopia, CBC News, Toronto.
Canadians as young as 30 should be offered the AstraZeneca vaccine unless some medical condition indicates potential risk. That's today's new advice from the National Council on Immunization. As Susanna De Silva shows us, making more people eligible is a good way to drive up demand.
All the people that are approved.
After a post on social media, word spread like wildfire and people came by the dozens for a chance to just walk in for a shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine without the usual appointment.
I got a text from a friend to say come down and dropped everything and came down.
Pent-up demand after the province dropped the age limit to 40. And today, the National Advisory Committee on Immunization said it can go even lower.
The AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine may be offered to individuals 30 years of age and older without contraindications if the individual does not wish to wait for an mRNA vaccine and the benefits outweigh the risk.
The risk is that the vaccine can trigger extremely rare blood clots. The first 2 cases in Ontario were reported today, bringing the total in the country to 5, a small risk compared to the much greater likelihood of catching COVID.
People will need to look at how worried they are about COVID, how much COVID there is in the community.
They also wanted to make sure no one who waited was put at the back of the list for Pfizer or Moderna.
This is the guidance that says this is the vaccines we have and this is what we know about these vaccines. And so as a public messaging strategy, it's a tricky needle to thread.
And in the end, the messaging may not matter. Alberta and Ontario say they won't be lowering the age of eligibility because they don't have enough. And officials in BC say all the doses they have are spoken for.
We have literally 319 people on our waiting list right now, and we would love to give them the vaccine. We love vaccines in arms, but we don't have the stock to do it right now.
I'm pretty emotional.
But today, these people got lucky.
Thank you.
Officials scrambled to find dwindling supplies. The next Canadian shipment likely won't arrive until June. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
U.S. health officials have recommended restarting the use of the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. However, warnings about an increased risk of rare blood clots will be added to the label.
These are serious medical events. They are likely linked to the vaccine, but they are very rare.
A CDC advisory panel voted to resume the use of the single-dose vaccine today, paving the way for the use of the shot in the U.S. as early as this weekend. Let's dig deeper on that new Health Canada modeling. It showed what Canada's top doctor calls a spark of good news.
For the first time in many weeks, the epidemic has dropped out of a growth pattern.
In other words, the pace of new infections is slowing. Average daily new cases in Canada have been flat for nearly a week, a signal that restrictions are starting to work. Modeling suggests if the vaccine rollout reaches 75% of adults and measures like masking are kept up, other restrictions could safely be eased by the summer. Nova Scotia is suddenly dealing with its worst outbreak in months, blamed in part on people from out of the province who didn't follow the rules. Kayla Hounsell shows us it has some residents fuming.
Thank you so much for coming out today.
Nova Scotians showed up by the hundreds to get tested, even though they don't have any symptoms.
I'm just basically doing my part.
He's not happy others didn't do their part.
I'm a little bit angry because a few people make some bad choices and all of us have to pay.
Health officials say the lockdown was necessary after a recent spike in cases traced at least partially to a gathering between Nova Scotians and people from Ontario who didn't properly isolate.
We don't have all the facts and be able to trace back everything and be definitive about how many cases, but we know it's a significant contributor.
It's disappointing, of course, frustrating, and we've been doing so well.
Indeed, retail had returned to 100% capacity. Restaurants were open for dine-in.
Was it a pickup?
Yes, for Peter.
Not anymore.
I think it's sensible to shut down this outbreak.
This restaurant owner understands the restrictions, but not what made them necessary.
For people to just kind of play their own way, and then for there to be this as the result of those actions, it's very frustrating.
Not cute. That is not a good look at all.
Definitely not it.
We know the rules by now. That's just so unfair to everyone who has been following the rules. And it's just embarrassing, honestly.
On social media, the reaction is stronger. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want blood for what these idiots did to us, said one post. Name and shame, said another. And they should be fined equal to the economic impact they have made on the province. No one has been fined.
When we get definitive information about somebody not complying, and it needs to be definitive information, we will pass that along to law enforcement.
Regardless of how the outbreak started, everyone in this line agrees.
We have to take care of each other.
What's important now is to stop it in its tracks. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
At least 2 other provinces are also moving to travel restrictions. All non-essential travelers entering New Brunswick will now have to isolate at a hotel at their own expense for at least 7 days.
These hotels will be coordinated by the Canadian Red Cross. It is expected that the cost to each traveler will be about $200 per day.
The province reported 16 new cases today, with most being travel-related. Premier Higgs says the new rules will be in place until at least the end of May. New rules also took effect in British Columbia today.
The time has come to formally restrict non-essential travel.
Residents will now be limited to one of 3 regional zones within the province. Officials say periodic road checks will be set up, with violators facing a $575 fine. The new orders will be in place until May 25th. Saskatchewan doctors describe the COVID situation in that province as dire. Case counts are surging, with most people catching the virus either at home or at work. One woman paid a devastating price, and she's telling her story in the hopes that others won't. Bonnie Allen has the details.
Rochelle Montgomery says her husband Warren was larger than life.
I'm the chef and owner of the Big Easy Kitchen.
Just this month, the popular chef was featured in this video about his passion for catering Louisiana cuisine in Regina.
Find that one thing that keeps you awake at night, the one thing that you sleep, eat, talk about.
Everything he did was big. You know, his smile kind of said it all.
The 42-year-old father of 6 died from COVID-19 complications this week. Rochelle believes she brought a highly contagious variant home after an outbreak in her workplace.
We had the option to work from home. I had the option to work from home. There was no way. I hated working from home. I couldn't get anything done at home. My kids are there, husband's there, the dog is there, the laundry is there. Couldn't focus. I wish I would have worked from home.
She tested positive and isolated in her bedroom, but it was too late for Montgomery.
Nothing has really sunk in for me, I don't think yet. I'm pretty numb.
Health officials say transmission in workplaces and households is driving up cases across the province. At its weekly town hall presentation, the Saskatchewan Health Authority revealed more than half of the province has a high likelihood or risk of uncontrolled transmission.
We have to make sure that we're adhering to the public health guidelines all the time.
Rochelle Montgomery isn't convinced that message is enough.
I had COVID fatigue. I was sick of everything. Open it up. I was done. I wanted my family back. I wanted my get-togethers back. I wanted my friends back like everybody. And I was vocal about it. I couldn't have been more wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong.
She says she has to push aside any regrets and focus on her young children, now without a father.
They think he walks on water. He is the best dad ever.
Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Regina.
There is growing desperation in India as new daily COVID cases soar higher than any country at any time in this pandemic. Friday's total of 332,000 broke a global record for a second straight day. And as Salima Shivji shows, hospitals are getting desperate.
Delhi is weary, the strain of COVID's second wave debilitating. The struggle to get care competing with the struggle to breathe. A city of 20 million and almost no hospital beds available. Please, won't someone do something to help me, this man says, after searching for a bed for his mother for days. Inside, it's frantic. Doctors work overtime to save patients that keep coming. This woman was admitted for a short time, enough to be stabilized, only to be sent away again. There's just no room. With India's cases exploding, fueled by a new variant, day after day, new infections are topping 300,000. And every hospital in Delhi looks like this, desperate for oxygen to save lives.
So we are struggling.
Dr. Sumit Ray is pleading for more supply.
Running out of oxygen. The whole country is running out of oxygen, okay?
Breaking the news to his staff that there's only 30 minutes of oxygen left. He spoke to us at the end of his day.
I mean, I cannot tell you how scary that is. We have 385 patients, out of which nearly 350 are on oxygen.
He got a last-minute influx. The push to shuffle oxygen around the country to hotspots is slow and cumbersome, arriving too late for too many. India's deaths now topping 2,000 a day. The Prime Minister convened an emergency meeting to talk oxygen supply, but many point the finger at his government for this crisis, for doing nothing to discourage large gatherings, knowing there was likely to be a new wave of the virus.
We underestimated the virus. We really did. If the numbers don't come out, no healthcare system can handle this. No healthcare system.
Experts say the peak of new infections is nowhere in sight. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Ottawa.
Canadian officials have been talking to the Indian government about ways to help.
We will stand ready with PPE and ventilators and any items that might be useful.
The government also announced travel restrictions yesterday. All direct flights to Canada from India and Pakistan are now banned for 30 days. And anyone traveling via another country now needs to get a negative test there. It's an attempt to keep more COVID cases and more cases of that concerning variant from getting into this country, but some already have. Ontario now says it's detected 36 of those variant cases, all linked to international travel. BC, Alberta, and Quebec have also found some. And as Jacqueline Hansen tells us, the current travel rules may not be enough to prevent more from arriving.
Tina Sethi flew to India 12 days ago to be with her father after he fell and broke his leg and hip.
He's a very strong person, but this time he was emotionally very weak and he wanted me by his side.
When Canada announced a travel ban, she couldn't fly home to her husband and children in Calgary. She was still in quarantine.
Even if I wanted, I could not leave ASAP. My quarantine ends on Sunday. I don't know what to say now. I'm stuck.
In Toronto, one of the last flights from India to Canada landed this morning.
It was really full, and I think everyone is just rushing to enter Canada as soon as possible.
The India-Canada Association estimates that hundreds of Canadians could still be stranded, a financial and emotional cost to the travel ban that some experts say will be of limited help.
Variants are emerging and circulating globally.
Kelly Lee has been tracking global travel measures and their effectiveness since the pandemic began. She says targeted travel bans aren't the answer.
What you have to do is really treat the whole world during a global pandemic as one big hotspot.
Lee says it's key to screen, quarantine, and test every traveler. And while Canada does have some measures in place,
we have different treatment of people depending on whether they're arriving by air, land, or sea. Some say, it's like a Swiss cheese that you have so many holes in the system.
For Seti, despite feeling helpless, she still believes that traveling to see her father was the right choice.
You don't want to regret your entire life that, he wanted to see you when you were not there when he wanted to see you. So I feel I did the right thing, but I never realized that this situation would happen.
Now her goal is to keep herself healthy so that when the flights reopen, she can go home. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
In Ottawa today, sharp new questions for the government about how it's handled the military's sexual misconduct crisis. This latest scrutiny follows testimony from a retired soldier about former Chief of Defence Staff Jonathan Vance. Among other things, Kelly Brennan told a parliamentary committee that Vance told her he was untouchable. Murray Brewster looks at the questions it raises about the Minister of National Defence and about the way forward for the military.
The political storm over sexual misconduct in the military keeps roaring.
How do you explain to the women in the Canadian forces that your defense minister still is in the position he's in?
I think, first of all, that was extraordinarily moving testimony last night from a woman who demonstrated both her strength and her commitment to bringing about change.
But any changes depend on the government's own commitment, whether that might include changing defense ministers. Major Kelly Brennan's testimony certainly gave the opposition fresh ammunition.
Did General Vance ever instruct you to lie about your relationship?
Yes.
The pressure will only increase after it was revealed today that the Prime Minister's current top advisor was aware of a misconduct allegation involving General Jonathan Vance in 2018.
I have no recollection of personally briefing the Prime Minister on these issues, nor was I ever made aware of any such briefing.
That is in line with what Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said himself, as the Liberals keep having to defend themselves. Tonight, a tentative step forward. CBC News has learned DND intends to create a new military leadership post to oversee professional conduct and culture.
I see this as the first step, and I would not consider this to be enough.
Indeed, critics point to a huge problem. The new post remains in the chain of command. Sexual assault survivors want an independent center where victims can report misconduct without fear of reprisal. Others want a full independent watchdog reporting to Parliament.
It's 180 degrees opposite to what an Inspector General would be, opposite to external, independent oversight.
Privately, the Liberals say a well-rounded plan is in the works, something they've been saying for months. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
The pandemic is driving up the price of doing business.
How long can I maintain my price point before I have to increase that to my customers?
What it means for the bottom line.
Who are you?
The power of a more inclusive superhero universe.
I can't solve racism, but I can certainly open the door to a different way of thinking.
And a hiker's terrifying hour-long encounter with a cougar.
It was like right at my feet and like hissing at me and stuff.
The close call caught on camera. We're back into.
Mission and liftoff. Godspeed, Endeavour and Crew 2.
SpaceX propelled a 4-astronaut team into orbit this morning using a recycled rocket and capsule for the first time. The crew will spend 6 months on the International Space Station. This is the third crew flight in less than a year for Elon Musk's commercial rocket company. Japan is bringing emergency COVID measures in this weekend in Tokyo and 3 other regions. The country has a rise in infections with reports of hospital bed shortages in some areas. Bars will be required to close and big sporting events will be held without spectators. The government has insisted the Olympics will go ahead in July. One impact of the pandemic has been the skyrocketing cost of raw materials, lumber in particular. But other materials are affected as well. And as Kyle Bax tells us, that's translated into higher prices on everything from mattresses to diapers.
Walk through the back room of this custom mattress store, and just about every material you see has jumped in price, including wood, foam, metal, and fabric. As a result, the store has increased prices by 10% in recent months, and it may have to increase them further.
My biggest concern is how long can I maintain my price point for before I have to increase that to my customers? And if they do increase, does that potentially price me out of the market?
The cost of materials is climbing because of commodity prices and supply chain problems. Factories cut production at the outset of the pandemic and are struggling to catch up. Meanwhile, ships, railways, and the transportation sector as a whole are challenged to move more cargo.
I'm sure every single household, every individual's manufacturing producer or consumers all feel when we go shopping, we have seen price rises.
Increased costs are impacting companies big and small. Corporations like Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble say prices are increasing on soft drinks, diapers, and feminine care products, to name a few. For some small businesses, expenses are climbing so quickly, it's tough to keep up.
I kind of want to wrangle them all together and do a year-end price increase that represents our new reality, which will be a significant 20-25% price increase in our products.
It may take another year or two for the supply chain to return to normal, although by then, some wonder whether the higher prices will be here to stay. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Calgary.
We showed you that frightening new wave of COVID-19 that is shattering records and lives in India. Next, I'll speak with a Canadian doctor desperately trying to help. And will new restrictions for travelers from India reduce the spread here? One of the questions we'll put to Canada's Public Safety Minister. Plus,
go away! Hey, go!
The big cat lurking in the woods and how this BC hiker survived to tell the tale.
Situation right now here is really very worst, critical, and out of control.
A similar message echoed across India today, recording the most ever new COVID cases for any country, more than 330,000. That is a frightening number, and the reality is likely a lot worse. Hospitals are full and running out of oxygen for the sick. It's a dire situation that has mobilized some Canadians with ties to India, including a group of doctors now fighting the pandemic from abroad. And one of those people is Dr. Madhukar Pai, a physician and professor of epidemiology and global health at McGill University, and he joins us from Montreal this evening. Dr. Pai, I know this is a grueling time for you. What are you hearing from relatives and friends who are in India?
I think Indians everywhere, Ian, are in a state of shell shock. I mean, we just can't even believe what has happened in a relatively short period of time. Everybody, including us that we know of, has somebody or the other, friend, family, colleague, work acquaintance in India who's currently dealing with COVID. I mean, it's not even possible to describe the level of devastating nature of this second wave. My own immediate family in India is impacted. Entire family is down with symptoms. I have childhood friends who are frantically WhatsApping me, asking me for advice because none of them can get medical care or hospital care right now. So we are pretty much managing our own close family members and friends as best as we can. And we put together simple tip sheets to help many such Indians manage this disease on their own because there is no hope of them getting much medical help at this point.
Can you imagine that it's come to this, that you and others have had to send out these WhatsApp messages and tweets with kind of basic information on how to care for yourself at home if you have COVID? Did you ever think it would come to this?
I mean, Indians were all kind of congratulating themselves and celebrating when the cases started dipping down towards the early part of the new year. And then I think the country pretty much gave up on public health, right? Simple public health measures like masking, physical distancing, everything went out of the window. There were huge congregations, religious congregations with 3.5 million people, live cricket games with hundreds and thousands of people, election rallies across the country. And then before you knew it, this what I think is a bunch of new variants, the curve is started going up like a rocket. And now it's like a vertical wall, it's like a tsunami wall. And the numbers are beyond any imagination. The official figure, as you know, is about 330,000 per day. But that would be underestimated by a factor of at least 10. So that puts it at 3 million plus cases per day, and at least 2,000 deaths would be 20,000 deaths at least per day, and that is just and the epidemic is doubling at a very, very fast pace. So we are looking at a disaster of unimaginable proportions.
Just time for one last question, and you know about the travel ban of prohibiting direct flights from India and Pakistan to Canada. How do you feel about that?
I can understand when there is a massive problem, travel restrictions need to be in place, and we've done that with other countries as well. But what I think many Indians fear is a potential racial backlash, just as we saw with the anti-Asian racism around the Chinese virus or Wuhan virus type of a thing. When you say Indian variant, already there are news reports within Canada with such racist headlines. And we really hope that Canada won't go that path. And who knows, we may have a variant in Ontario if we don't control the epidemic within Canada. So it doesn't matter where the variants come from or what they're called. What matters is we need to control the pandemic in all parts of the world. The only way we're going to end this pandemic is not by just vaccinating ourselves or our countries or closing our borders, but to end the pandemic in every part of the world for all people, so that we can come out of this as humanity, not as Canadians or Ontarians, because virus does not respect any boundaries.
Dr. Pai, thank you very much for taking some time with us tonight.
Thank you, Ian.
So let's talk more about Canada's decision to suspend flights from India and Pakistan in an effort to limit the transmission. We do know over the past 2 weeks, for example, that 35 flights from Delhi to Toronto and Vancouver had passengers who eventually tested positive for COVID, though we don't know what precise type they had or if they spread the virus. Joining us now is Bill Blair, the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Good evening, Ian.
So direct flights from India and Pakistan have been suspended because of concerns over the variant. But what about passengers who arrive here from those countries but on connecting flights via Frankfurt or London?
Well, one of the things we have done is we've implemented measures that will have the effect of breaking or disrupting those connecting flights, only to the extent people there are many Canadians, for example, in India and Pakistan, and for them to return. If they choose to use a connecting flight, because there'll be no more direct flights, they'll have to stop in the country in which they would normally transit. Transit in connecting flights is either done airside, which means people don't have to actually land in the transiting country, or landside, which would actually require them to. And so what we've put in place is that people traveling from India to Canada, say through the United Kingdom, they'll have to actually land in the United Kingdom and pass through all their regulations and restrictions with respect to entry into their country, and then they'll have to obtain a negative test in the United Kingdom that they can present upon their arrival in Canada.
So as we know, the variants that were first detected in the UK and Brazil not only got into Canada, but they're circulating in Canada. I wonder if that means that our system, including the quarantine system for arriving travelers, hasn't been working.
I think the evidence is overwhelming in virtually every country in the world that there's no absolutely perfect system to keep COVID-19 or its variants out of your country. But the measures that we have put in place are frankly and truthfully some among the most strong and effective in the world. And they have had a very positive effect in slowing down the entry of the virus into this country. Less than 2% of all of the infections in Canada are actually travel-related. The rest are the 98% are community transmissions, but 2%, even such a low number, we still believe it's necessary to make every effort to try to slow the introduction of those new variants into Canada, and that's why we've introduced the notice to airmen to stop direct flights, with the steps we've taken to disrupt and break connecting flights, and we'll continue to add layers of protection to slow the advent of this virus down while we do the important work of getting vaccines out to Canadians and in their arms.
We have less than a minute. Minister Patrick Brown, the Mayor of Brampton, is actually calling on Canada to close airports to passenger flights entirely. Has that ever been, will that ever be on the table?
Yeah, I just remind Mayor Brown that there are well over 1 million Canadians who are abroad at any given time, and they have a constitutional right to return to this country, and in many cases have a need to return to this country. Our job is not to prohibit their entry, but rather to make sure we manage it. We manage their return in such a way as to make sure they don't represent a threat to their community or to Canadians, but through the possibility of bringing in the virus. And that's why we've had for over a year a 14-month mandatory quarantine period. We test them before they arrive. We test them when they get here. We test them again. We're putting them up in hotels for a number of days until we get those test results. We've put a great deal of restrictions in. We've added more restrictions to those countries where there's been serious hotspot outbreaks in the UK initially, and now in India and Pakistan. We'll continue to do what is necessary to manage the return of Canadians, and we have for over a year stopped all non-essential. We banned all non-essential travel into this country by foreign nationals, and that prohibition remains in effect.
Minister Blair, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Of course, Ian. Have a good evening.
As Hollywood grapples with questions of diversity, the issue is getting a superhero treatment.
The legacy of that shield is complicated.
How Marvel is using its powers in the fight for inclusivity. Plus, no vaccine hesitancy there. The pharmacist ringing in pandemic milestones and making every shot count.
That true? No, I'm not homeless. I'm just houseless. Not the same.
You still have a couple of days to watch some of the Oscar-nominated films before the big night. So far, it's been a year of firsts when it comes to nominations. Look at the acting category. Nearly half the nominees are people of color. And Chloe Zhao is the first woman of color to be nominated for Best Director. When it comes to inclusivity, the Marvel Universe is also taking action. It's opening the door to a much more diverse cast of superheroes. Case in point, its most recent series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Eli Glasner explains.
The legacy of that shield is complicated.
Much of the new Marvel series revolves around the character Falcon wrestling with whether to become the next Captain America after the Captain gave him his shield in the final moments of Avengers Endgame.
It feels like it belongs to someone else.
For the Canadian director, it was a way to look at how heroes are changing.
In amongst the conversation of race and tolerance was to look at what is the new hero, because is that hero relevant anymore?
In this superhero series, the real battle is something a lot of Americans can relate to.
There's a fight out there, and then there's our fight here. And bro, you have taken them both on.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 4.
Julian Green is a TikTok film reviewer with 1.8 million followers. He was surprised with how the series injected a new sense of the Black experience into the superhero genre.
To see Sam deal directly with being gaslighted by the U.S. government, hey, you did the right thing giving up the shield, and then to see him in the next episode get racially profiled by the police. And you could just tell there was something deeper going on with his character.
But when Green applauded the show's treatment of race, some fans pushed back.
Y'all didn't even want to hear the conversation. Y'all didn't even want to have it.
It's actually been a tough 5 weeks. I still love the fandom. It was just, it just really exposed a lot of toxicity that was part of the fandom. And I believe, there was also a huge amount of support from the community as well.
For her part, director Kari Skogland is happy fans are being challenged.
I can't solve racism, but I can certainly open the door to a different way of thinking.
And she's not the only one opening doors.
Who are you?
This week saw another barrier smashed with the launch of the trailer to Shang-Chi, the first Marvel movie led by Asian superhero starring Canadian Simu Liu.
My reaction to the trailer, like I was crying.
Bong Shou is a gay Asian comedian who grew up with comics.
To see him, a fellow Asian Canadian, up on screen in what's going to be one of the biggest movies in the entire world for the year is just unfathomable.
And coming next fall with The Eternals, Marvel movies will address another blind spot, the lack of LGBTQ characters. We shared a report with Shou that The Eternals will feature gay heroes kissing.
Honestly, I'm a little bit shocked, but now that I know this, I'm probably gonna bring my boyfriend, and when they kiss, we're gonna kiss. I'm gonna bring all the gays, and we're gonna have that shared kiss moment at the theater.
I am cool.
With new Marvel TV shows and films on the way focused on a Muslim hero, a female Hulk, Thor, and more, it's a welcome burst of inclusion for a changing world.
People need something to get behind.
Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
A walk in the woods turned into a frightening ordeal.
I felt hopeless, and it was terrifying for sure.
Up next, the cougar that stalked a BC man for almost an hour and how he fended off the attack.
I'm Jamie Poisson. Join me for CBC's daily news podcast, Front Burner. Every weekday, Front Burner takes you deep into the stories shaping Canada and the world. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
A British Columbia man has a wild and chilling story to tell you. During a hike, he was stalked by a cougar and eventually realized he'd need to take action. He explains what happened to our Mira Baines.
Go away! Hey!
Through the trees, a cougar stared him down. Cody McLaughlin says he took out his camera to record it in case the worst happened.
I was yelling and screaming at it and waving my arms up in the air, and it didn't care at all. It just kept coming towards me. I felt hopeless, and it was terrifying for sure.
McLaughlin was walking along popular flagpole trail just outside Nelson. Near the summit, he realized he was being tracked.
I was walking by a pine tree, and a cougar leaped out at me, and it was right at my feet and hissing at me and stuff, and then we both backed away from each other.
After a stare down, the cougar left. But 20 minutes further down the trail, the big cat appeared again and suddenly charged at him.
So I threw the rock at it when it was 10 feet away from me. It continued to charge me, and luckily there was a big stick beside me, so I picked up the big stick and I whacked it in the head.
The animal backed off, and McLaughlin says he continued cautiously down the trail. He saw the cougar a third time, but it stayed away. People don't always report these interactions because they don't want the animals destroyed, but experts say they should.
What can happen is if we don't call and let people know that there's unusual behavior happening, that more encounters will happen and someone can get hurt and the situation can escalate. And then there's no choice but to remove that animal.
Go!
After his encounter, McLaughlin called 911 and conservation officers met him along the trail. The BC Conservation Officer Service has recommended closing the trail to the public for 2 weeks and plan to reassess the situation.
I'll be bringing bear spray with me from now on, no matter what, even if I just go on a short hike. Yeah, there he is.
He hopes he'll never have a close call again. Mira Baines, CBC News, Vancouver.
For many, getting vaccinated is a real milestone. It's something a Toronto pharmacist has been celebrating with bell ringing, chants, and confetti. That's next.
Hold my hand in case
It's okay.
Are you excited? Yeah, I am very excited.
Prime Minister Trudeau and his wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, got their first shots of the AstraZeneca vaccine at a pharmacy earlier today. And yesterday was the NDP leader Jagmeet Singh's turn. Many other Canadians got their shots at pharmacies this week, and one Toronto pharmacist decided to make his customers' experience fun. And so that included, of course, a confetti cannon. You'll see what we mean in our moment.
At 1,000 doses, I felt that something a bit bigger needed to happen.
you know, we thought, let's up the ante a little. And then one of my assistants said, yeah, let's get confetti. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's get confetti. And then, you know, I had a few people that would tear up when they think, you know, like that they've accomplished something so great and the people are all chanting and all that. There is a certain gratifying component, I guess, to it. We're almost there, so just hang on tight. We're gonna get through this. Okay, just a little bit longer.
So 2 things. First of all, how exhausted must he be at the end of a day, not from giving out all those shots, but just all that celebration and performance? And secondly, who cleans up the confetti? That is a lot of confetti over the space of a day. I got my AstraZeneca shot last week because, you know, old, no celebration. So somewhere between what I got, nothing, and what they're getting at that pharmacy, which is maybe a little bit much, somewhere in between would be perfect. That is the National for April 23rd. I hope you can join me on Sunday for Cross Country Checkup on CBC Radio at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, and then later that evening back here on the National. Good night.